It's been 6 years since the poorly received Halo 5 Guardians was released and left the Halo franchise in a tough spot. The series has fallen out of the minds of many, while competitors like Call of Duty still reign supreme, and new games such as Apex Legends and Fortnite have become the talk of the town. Not only did Halo Infinite need to be a return to form for the series, but it also needed to serve as an evolution of what a Halo game is, showing that Xbox's flagship franchise still had a place in the current gaming landscape. Developer 343 Industries seemed to know this as well, and with Halo Infinite, they set out to chart a new direction for the series, one that honors what made the original trilogy so beloved, while moving towards a future filled with new ideas. Though there are some faults, Infinite largely succeeds in its mission, resulting in one of the best Halo games yet.
Yes! 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 We're going home! Oh, welcome back, Chief.
As far as Halo campaigns go, this is arguably the strongest one ever made. Halo 5 sought to dive deep into the franchise's extended lore and made controversial character choices, resulting in a story that left many confused and frustrated. Infinite distances itself from that game by picking up roughly 2 years later with the UNSC in its most dire state. After having been beaten by an enemy faction known as the Banished, who are searching for something hidden on the mysterious Zeta Halo, humanity has seen better days. Hope starts to return once Master Chief is found floating in space by a stranded soldier known as the Pilot. With only the assistance of the Pilot and a new AI called the Weapon, Chief takes the fight directly to the Banished to stop their plans and rebuild the UNSC. By wisely reining things in with a smaller cast, singular control of Master Chief, and reduced stakes, Infinite's story is allowed to thrive. Not only is the story more focused and easier to follow, but it's also far more personal and emotional than any of Master Chief's previous adventures. This is partly due to the way the story is presented. Taking inspiration from 2018's God of War, there are very few camera cuts throughout the campaign. Scenes are purposely framed and shot with a cinematic sensibility, lending them a level of gravitas that the Halo series typically lacks. When paired with the wonderful music, the story instantly becomes more engaging than prior entries. Infinite's cast of characters is the other core pillar of the story, and they all shine bright. Each one is a complex, layered individual with a performance that endears you to them in one way or another. The Pilot keeps you grounded in reality by being a normal human who fears the Banished, symbolizing both the humanity of a regular soldier and the hope that Master Chief gives them. Escharum, the leader of the Banished, is an intimidating and terrifying villain, who absolutely commands the screen whenever he appears. His speeches are captivating in a way that had me hanging on every word, leading me to continually gain respect for him as I learned more about his motivations and beliefs. The two standouts of the story by far are the Weapon and, surprisingly, Master Chief. Whereas Cortana was a fairly serious yet witty ally, the Weapon is fun, charismatic, and an absolute joy to work with. Her bubbly personality is charming and pairs well as a foil to Master Chief's straight man persona, allowing for plenty of enjoyable interactions between these two.
Not the type to waste any time, huh?
No.
Noted. Let's go.
But it's the depth beneath her holographic exterior that elevates her as a character. The way she develops as she learns about the world, questions events, and even challenges Chief on things makes her such a fascinating character and one that I eagerly want to spend more time with. Master Chief remains a man of few words with cool one-liners, but Infinite continues to develop him in fantastic ways. Here we see Chief really struggling as he tries to come to terms with the loss of Cortana, while also continuing to be the same one-man army that inspires others. This is the most human we've ever seen Master Chief over the course of the Halo series, and it's the first time I can say that I actually empathize with him and truly care about him as a character. By the campaign's conclusion, I not only found myself more attached to these characters than others in most of the prior Halo games, but eager to see what the future holds in store for them. Things wrap up with the story heading in a new, intriguing, and exciting direction, leaving me theorizing about what exactly will happen in the future and looking forward to the unknown path ahead. The biggest change Halo Infinite introduces to the campaign is its open world. After a linear opening section, it's here where the game starts to deliver on the dreams that fans have had since the beginning of the series, though it doesn't successfully execute on them all. Although the entire Halo ring understandably isn't able to be explored, the portion you're on can be. While not breathtaking, the world looks great and can provide some beautiful vistas. What's disappointing, however, is the lack of variety in the environments. Trees, fields, and cliffs are the main sights to see, with highly futuristic and technological interiors making up the remainder of the areas the campaign takes you to. These areas can be genuinely awe-inspiring at first, and give a sense of wonder upon stepping out onto the ring, but they lose their luster quickly. This causes Halo Infinite's world to feel a bit lacking. No matter what direction you look in, everything looks the same, so there isn't much that catches the eye or begs to be explored. And aside from the collectibles and side activities marked on the map, exploring the open world doesn't offer much in the way of rewards either. While this may be par for the course in modern open-world shooters, it's still disappointing that the pull to finally explore and get lost on one of the iconic Halo rings isn't here. The idea and framework for it are clearly here, as I genuinely enjoyed having the freedom to get around the map and go to missions whenever and however I wanted to, but it's just not capitalized on the way it could be. That being said, the map is fairly sizable, but not overbearing like some other open worlds can be. There are high-value banished targets to eliminate, ally squads to save, banished outposts to bring down, and UNSC bases to recapture, with each activity earning you Valor. Accumulating Valor gives you better items and soldiers at your disposal to call on at reclaimed bases, incentivizing you to clear out the map. Audio logs can be found throughout the world too, providing welcome insight into different events and characters, while banished propaganda towers are the source of some funny dialogue from enemy grunts.
So, next time you get shot, know that you humans played a vital role in making that possible.
Tackling each of these tasks is a blast due to how enjoyable Infinite's gameplay sandbox is. Halo's golden triangle of melee, grenade, and weapon combat is in full effect here, with a suite of both new and returning weapons for you to use as you please. It's all taken to the next level with the freedom that the open world gives you to approach battles from any angle that you wish and with whatever weapon you want. Whether you want to approach enemies head on or sneak up on them from a distance, any playstyle is welcome and viable. Combat is further amplified by the new abilities that Chief has, namely the grapple shot. Available from the very start of the game, it's a versatile tool that allows you to freely dart around the battlefield, as well as pull distant items right into your hands. In a game where you're always outnumbered against a variety of intelligent opponents, it's great to have increased flexibility in movement and tactical options when it comes to approaching combat. After using the grapple shot throughout the campaign, it's hard to imagine how any of us ever played a Halo game without it. In fact, the grapple shot is so useful that it makes the other abilities less appealing and a bit pointless. While they each have their own uses, they're just not the most viable options when the grapple shot is great for practically every scenario. This is compounded by the fact that switching between abilities isn't very intuitive, making it a hassle to do so during fights. Each ability can be upgraded with Spartan cores found in the world, making them more powerful than the starting versions, but I still found that the grapple shot was always the best tool for the job. Taking roughly 12 hours to complete on normal difficulty, the campaign is a good length and doesn't overstay its welcome. With the strong character work and storytelling, I found myself deeply invested in Infinite's campaign from start to finish. The open world may not be utilized to its full potential, but the gameplay opportunities it presents and the ones it aims for are all fun ideas that I want the series to continue building on. I can imagine exploration in the open world being more enjoyable with friends, but with campaign co-op months away, it'll be a while before more exciting times come to Master Chief's latest adventure. Multiplayer has always been a central pillar of the Halo experience, and that's no different with Infinite. The core gameplay is tight, electric, and fast-paced, bringing that classic Halo feel up to modern-day standards, resulting in some of the most fun multiplayer sessions I've had in recent years. Whether it's in the 4v4 arena mode or the larger-scale big team battle, Halo Infinite's multiplayer is an absolute joy to play. Weapons both feel and sound great, with each one being easy to pick up and use, but taking skill to master. There are classics like the assault rifle and battle rifle, which remain the same tried and true weapons they always have been. You also have weapons such as the Bulldog shotgun and Pulse carbine that are similar to weapons from prior games, but different enough to stand on their own and require a bit of learning. Then there are new weapons like the Commando rifle, which has a slow fire rate and tough recoil, but is deadly in an accurate set of hands. The Cinder Shot is a grenade launcher with shots that can bounce off surfaces, and when aimed, can have the trajectory of these shots manually directed. One of the deadliest weapons is the Skewer, a banished weapon that fires a piercing spike at high speed. The precision needed to find success with it is high, but in the right hands, the Skewer is a beast to be afraid of. Each of the abilities from the campaign are available in multiplayer as well as limited use equipment pickups. Unlike in the campaign, each one is able to shine here due to the competitive nature of multiplayer as well as the fact that you're only able to carry one at a time. Whether it be using the threat sensor to scope out an area before approaching, throwing down a drop wall to help hold down a control point, or using the thrusters to quickly dash around a corner away from an enemy, each one proves their use for different situations and makes it important to have one of these with you at all times. As with all Halo games, weapons and other pickups have the designated spawn points around the maps, so learning the map layouts is key to success. It's great then that Halo Infinite's maps are very well designed and easy to learn. Arena maps are tight and focused with an interconnected design that ensures a smooth flow between key areas. The maps in Big Team Battle are more open with multiple routes to take, different spots to post up on, and a number of vehicles to use, bringing about a consistent level of chaos that never feels overwhelming. All of the maps have their own distinct visual identity too, making them each feel unique. Whether it be the wet and grimy neon-soaked alleys of the map streets, the industrial hallways of Recharge, or the expansive battleground of Deadlock, each map stands out from the rest and instantly leaves its mark. The only downside with the maps is the amount of them. At launch, there are only 7 arena maps and 3 big team battle maps, so they start to get stale after a bit. This initial amount does leave something to be desired, but more maps will be added throughout Infinite's life for all players as part of its new free-to-play model. Halo going free-to-play is a major change for the franchise and brings with it everything that's standard for the business. Daily and weekly challenges, a store with cosmetics you can buy using real-world money, months-long seasons, and a battle pass. The battle pass is now the sole form of progression, with cosmetics, XP boost, and challenge swaps filling out each of its 100 tiers. Crucially, the battle pass never expires, so once the season is over, its rewards can still be earned. Completing challenges gives you varying amounts of experience, but they're the only way to progress through the battle pass. This progression system has been divisive, and it's easy to see why. As the only form of progression in Infinite, it's not an ideal or enjoyable way of rewarding players. Because it's centered around completing challenges, progressing through the battle pass can feel a bit like a chore as opposed to something that naturally happens through normal play. This is especially true when the challenges you have can be a bit of a grind to work through and make the act of playing the game less fun because of tasks such as getting kills with a specific weapon. There's also the additional factor of the game not rewarding you for playing well in a match. No matter how well you perform in a match, if you don't complete any of your given challenges, you won't earn anything or make much progress on the battle pass, which is frankly disappointing. To be fair, 343 has been making adjustments to ease the grind and make progressing through the battle pass easier. They've also stated that they are looking into forms of progression outside of the battle pass, though it will take a while before being implemented. Character customization is also a sore point for multiplayer due to its lack of player freedom. There are different sets of armor to choose from, but their individual pieces can't be mixed and matched like in previous games. The same goes for color schemes, which are limited to specific armor sets. These decisions are puzzlingly restrictive and don't really allow full player expression over their Spartan. Overall, the design choices made as a result of going free to play don't ruin the exceptional multiplayer experience, but they do drag it down. 343 has been taking player feedback and responding with changes as quickly as they can, so it's clear that they want to improve things for everyone, signifying an optimistic future for Infinite's multiplayer.
That's nothing! Look at it all!
Halo Infinite is a great accomplishment for 343 Industries. They've managed to successfully get the series back on the right track, with a campaign that confidently lays the groundwork for the future, and multiplayer that reminds everyone of what makes Halo so fun. Though there are flaws that keep Infinite from reaching its full potential, they aren't enough to wash away the hours of fun that one will have. We can all confidently say that Halo is back and is here to stay.